Now Trump says the only reason he didn't bring up the affairs during Monday's debate is because Chelsea Clinton was in the audience. But Chelsea calls this a distraction from Trump's inability to talk about the issues and says her family has been attacked for years. In response to Chelsea Clinton's comments, Juanita Broaddrick, who claims that Bill Clinton raped her in the 1970s, tweeted, quote, "Chelsea, you said you don't remember a time in your life that your parents weren't being attacked. There's a very good reason for this. Your parents are not good people. Your father was and probably still is a sexual predator. Your mother has always lied and covered up for him." So Trump may not talk about the affairs during the next debate, but it's likely he'll talk about them until then. Megyn.
Your election, 2016, America. Trace, thank you. Joining me now, David Wohl, a Trump supporter and attorney, and Melissa Mark Viverito, a New York City Council speaker and Hillary Clinton surrogate. Great to see you both. My goodness, there's a lot to unpack there. David, let me start with you, though, on this, because contrast that Donald Trump, who said Bill Clinton's affairs, it was no big deal, it was unimportant, it was nonsense, the attacks on him, the attempt to impeach him and so on, versus today with, I could have hit him, I could have hit her on his affair. How do you square the two?
Well, the issue about Monica Lewinsky was relatively minor compared to the pre-Lewinsky allegations regarding Juanita Broaddrick, Paula Jones, Kathleen Willey. Megyn, those are allegations that go from sexual harassment to rape. And it's not so much what Bill did now, it's what Hillary did. She established a war room to deal with these women who she said were engaging in a bimbo attack or a bimbo assault, something to that effect. It was a bimbo eruption. And she dealt with it that way. And if you think about that, Megyn, she tried to destroy women who made these type of allegations against her husband, not because they were allegations that weren't credible, but because it was politically expedient, okay. Megyn. Look at her website. Earlier this year, her website, she said all women who make these type of allegations should be believed. As soon as she found out that got up there, she deleted it. It's hypocrisy, it's inconsistency, okay. And it's unbecoming of a president.
Madam Speaker?
I'm, excuse me if I yawn. These arguments are tired.
Yawn?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to the conversation at present. The debate the other night demonstrated the vision and the understanding.
Wait a minute, though. Wait, can you just respond on point, though? Because we're trying to get to the bottom of whether this is going to go down and how it's going to go down and whether it should or it shouldn't.
That's a decision for the Trump campaign to make, I believe.
But they're going to come after her. They're going to say it was your team that referred to these, said you dragged the $50 through the trailer park and who knows what you'll find, and that they called these women, quote, bimbos, that they were bimbo eruptions. And they put it on Hillary, too, because she went after them as well.
This is reflective of the strategies that the Trump campaign will do. It is deviating and trying to divert.
How is it not fair game if she goes after him on women to go after her on her treatment of women during Bill's affairs and
I do not believe that this is the way we should be dealing with this issue right now, meaning that we have to focus on the vision and the future of this country.
But wait, Melissa, Ms. Speaker, yes. She's hitting him relentlessly through ads and on a presidential debate stage. You saw she was very sure to get it in on his treatment of women and the comments he's made about women. Why is it not perfectly fair game for him to turn around and say, gotcha, said some things. You too did some things, Madam Secretary.
Hillary Clinton has been attacked for more than 30 years. This issue has been discussed and debated.
Oh, come on. That's a dodge. I mean, David, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
It's the truth.
She's ripping Donald Trump for what he said about a beauty queen 20 years ago, and she calls rape accusations, some of which had a lot of credibility, bimbo eruptions, and then has something on her website saying women should be believed when it comes to sexual assault, and then she finds out it's on there, she deletes it, and you're saying that's not a big deal?
Let me ask you, David. Hold on. Let me ask you, David, because Trump also has some vulnerability because he's had extramarital affairs in prior marriages, which have, been made very, very public in the papers, and so there's some risk to him in going after Bill Clinton as an adulterer and as Hillary Clinton and a woman who would understandably be displeased
Megyn,
to find that out.
But when you're talking about extramarital affairs versus allegations of sexual harassment, assault, rape, and having those covered up and having his wife serve as sort of his henchwoman to take care of them, establishing a war room to silence the women, There's no comparison on this planet between those two.
Well, this is the. I think
she's got big trouble.
the typical strategy of the Trump campaign: is that he cannot answer and he cannot provide a vision for the future of this country.
A vision for the future.
The other day,
hold on.
so
does it matter?
The other day at the debate.
Madam Speaker, so does it matter at all if Hillary Clinton had a history of referring to these women as bimbos?
I believe that this has been discussed before.
That's not an answer. That's not an answer. You're dodging.
And it's horrible.
Does it
now.
matter? Do you care, as the Speaker of the New York City Council, whether our next president potentially refers to women as bimbos, whether it's Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton? Because a lot of Democrats really cared when Trump was using that term. Do they care if Hillary used it?
Well, these are terms that are being used in the present. I am concerned about what we have, the vision we have for the future. The debate the other day demonstrated that Donald Trump was bumbling and was demonstrating what a fool he is in front of 80
The women at home
viewers.
understand
Well,
that's a dodge. If it's bad for him, it's bad for her too. And she's going to have to deal with it if he chooses to bring it up.
Well, that's it. That's exactly the right. That's exactly the right question to ask. Let it be dealt with. I am interested in seeing, and I believe that Hillary Clinton has demonstrated that she is the better suited to lead this nation
She can make
forward.
that case. She can make that case.
80 million
but she's not going to be able to avoid that direct accusation
Okay.
after the things she's hurled at him. It's good to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.